Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is REGANELITE here with another episode of the Snowflake Viewpoint, episode 58, guys. The date and time is the 10th of June 2024 at 8 p.m. UK time. We are dual streaming on YouTube and twitch.tv, and for some silly reason I have not got that up. I better get that up straight away. How are you guys all doing? Hope you had a good weekend. We've got a lot to cover, and my head is spinning because obviously I've seen that there is a date that apparently all the manifestos are going to be coming out this week, which I'm absolutely furious about, guys, because that's just giving me an absolute headache. So how on earth I'm going to cover them all, I don't know. But that is the challenge, and that is the challenge that lies ahead of me. So I'll probably give you guys a bit of an inkling of what I'm probably going to do over the next couple of days to tackle that. We have a bit of a funny odd one in the live YouTube chat poll today, asking a Reform candidate says UK should have taken Hitler up on his offer of neutrality. Is he right? It's a bit of a there is no yes answer. There is no, of course not. No, and he's a dumbass. No, but they're all the same. Or does he even know Hitler is? It's just a bit of a fun one, not one to take seriously today, guys. So cast your vote, have your say. If you think he's a dumbass, vote he's a dumbass. If you think they're all the same, just brush them along all the same. That's all well and good. The rest of the gang is here. I may have to change the orb. The reason why, as if I've already got problems with the lava lamp. So I had it plugged in, and it's been making the plug socket has been making a buzzing sound. Quite a loud buzzing sound, and yeah, I'm not gonna take that risk. So so the orb is there, but it's not empowered, I'm afraid, guys. So it's not very good. So we've got a lava lamp we need to change over, and an orb that's not activated. But the rest of the gang is here. So yeah, it's not looking very good here on the channel, guys, because we're losing objects here, which is not ideal. So let's see who have we got here today. Enzo the God is here. Good to see you, Enzo. Hope you're doing well. Mad Monk is here. Good to see you, Mad Monk. Terry Regan is here as well. Good to see you. Modding 2 live streams at once, says Mad Monk. Who else is live streaming? Artibus is here. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Wolfpet is here as well. Good to see you, Wolfpet. Hope you're doing well. Joe Lefty is here as well. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Right, let's get started, guys, because we've got quite a lot to cover. So obviously today the manifesto of the Liberal Democrats was launched today. So the Lib Dems launched the election manifesto with a pledge to save the National Healthcare Service, that's the NHS for short. The party presents fully costed plans to tackle the healthcare crisis from top to bottom, including guarantees on GPs and dentists and access to free to access social care. Now, this is something that they were building up all the way in the build up to. They've always been prioritising, saying that healthcare was kind of going to be their centrepiece. Healthcare, social care, that was always going to be their centrepiece. Really, the Liberal Democrats when it comes to this. I like the term. I have had a brief look at the manifesto, but I haven't decided if I'm going to do a live stream or a premiere video of the manifesto. I am going to do one of the two. I may do it during the week. I may save it for the weekend. I'm not sure yet. But I will be doing something on the weekends now because of the manifestos, because I can't cover all the manifestos straight away, but I do want to cover all of them, guys, in detail. But let's have a read into some of this here, guys. So the Liberal Democrats have become the first of the big parties to launch their election manifesto with a pitch to voters based on boosting the NHS and social care. They also said that, unlike those of Labour and the Tories, their plans were fully costed. Now, Labour have stressed numerous times that their plans are fully costed. They have said that. Now, that just because their Liberal Democrats are saying that their plans are fully costed doesn't mean to say that their plans are fully costed either. So I think it's very important to make that caveat there. But they have stressed that they'd be fully costed as well. Alistair Keir, good to see you there. Hope you're doing well. All Schultz is live streaming. What? All Schultz is live streaming on a Monday evening. That's not like him. Speaking at glitzy launch event in North London, the party's leader Ed Davey told voters that electing enough Lib Dem MPs would bring a strong Liberal voice pushing for these policies, and could make a noticeable difference even with an expected Labour majority. The 116-page manifesto has been launched alongside a costings document with pledges to increase capital gains tax for the wealthy people, plus new levies on aviation, energy companies and banks. Now, I believe that some of these policies were ones that they've poached from Greens and Labour as well. I do believe they've done a bit of poaching here and there as well. No, just out of curiosity. Joe, good to see you there, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Davey said this would pay for policies particularly focused on health and care, including guarantees about seeing GPs and dentists, free to access social care and more mental health support. We are putting forward a bold, ambitious and fully costed plan to tackle the healthcare crisis from top to bottom. This is a manifesto to save the NHS, Davey told an audience of journalists and Lib Dem candidates and staffers, as well as a series of green pledges, including an urgent programme of home installation and retrofitting. A lot of that sounds like something that the Greens have. And policies on the cost of living, such as a pledge on free school meals. The manifesto also takes in traditional Lib Dems areas such as political reform and Europe. On the first, Davey said he hoped to transform the nature of British politics itself by introducing proportional representation voting system and capping donations and thus getting big money out of politics. Proportional representation, oof, proportional representation, oof. I tell you what. I like this. I like this. They're obviously they can say this because obviously they know they're not going to get into power, but still putting it in their manifesto. Oof. Damn, that's gonna get a lot of voters. That's a voter winner there to a lot of people. That proportional representation, they're saying it straight. They're not. You know, Labour. There's talk. Obviously, Labour say they will introduce it at some point, but some people are not sure whether Labour will keep to that. You know. On Brexit, while the Liberal Democrats' primary pledge in the 2019 election was to annul the departure from the EU without a second referendum, the 2024 manifesto does mention the issue until more than 100 pages in. However, scattered through the manifesto are a series of EU-facing policies, including a pledge to expand freedom of movement for young people and returning to the Emirates scheme for overseas studies with the blog. Now, this is an obvious one. This will, again, another one that would woo the younger voters. Again, this, I do feel that the Lib Dems and the Greens are going to be quite fighting over some of the younger voters. Considering that and it's just a case of what's more, which party may be more appealing. Because I expect a lot of some of these things that I'm reading here. I expect some of these to be in the Green manifesto as well. And I love the idea that obviously expanding the freedom of movement for young people, and that's the key word there, freedom of movement for young people. And obviously, we do need to take what the Guardian is saying here with a pinch of salt, which is why when I do cover the manifesto, I'm going to be covering it directly from their webpage, not from any news outlet or whatever, because we need to because the wording of what it says in the manifesto really does matter. You know, that's really a key thing when it comes to these, rather than just reading it off of news articles, because sometimes the news articles don't tell you specifically what is actually said, and they can mislead what the pledges actually are in the manifestos. So it's a very important point I want to make. Quizbar reporters Davey said that while rejoining the EU remains the party's goal in the long term, it should only ever be done in stages, starting with moves to improve the existing trade deal with Europe, something the manifesto said that would boost the economy. Yeah, you can't just say we're going to rejoin the EU. But they said they're going to move. Yeah, the wording I've seen on, I think, a Word to Discord service is that to move closer alignment, but not so much to say that they are move to closer alignment, but not to rejoin outright. I think is what they've precise wording. You can't have a timeline. You've got to rebuild that relationship, he said. Yes. But not only do you need to rebuild that relationship with them, we need to make sure that there is cross-party consensus to rejoin the European Union as well, because it will not work while we have political parties that don't want it. As the party released a document setting out its costings, it challenged the other main parties to do the same. They have been criticised for engaging in a conspiracy of silence over the scale of the economic challenge ahead. The document says the Lib Dems could raise $26.9 billion from measures including overhauling capital gains tax to $5.2 billion for the NHS by 2028-2029, as well as a windfall tax on fossil fuel companies and reversing tax breaks on bank profits. That all sounds perfectly, happy with that. Don't think anyone else is going to make too much of an argument with that. However, more than 25% of the total is made up of a planned £7.2 billion to be saved by tackling tax avoidance and evasion. A financial source also cited by Labour and the Conservatives, but one expert has warned it is difficult to harness. The document also sets aside a planned average of £19.7 billion a year in capital investment, which does not sit with a costing calculation, including £6.2 billion for 150,000 new social homes a year and £8.4 billion for green investment. Lib Dems say they would also reform aviation tax on international flights, raising a planned £3.6 billion. They said families flying abroad one or twice a year would pay less, while those who travel 3 times would pay about the same. Yeah, I agree with that. I think some kind of aviation tax would help. But that will come in part with your what plans you would have for travel and for infrastructure and transport network as well. From a local point of view, because obviously some people travel from take flights from London to Edinburgh and vice versa. I know it's not a big deal to some, but I do think we need to reduce that. For example, that's where the changes in the train network needs to be tackled. Those who took 4 or more flights abroad a year, less than 4% of the population, many of them on business flights, would pay more. The party hopes this will eventually encourage fewer flights. Davies has already ruled out any increase in income tax, national insurance, or VAT, but party sources insisted they were taking a cautious approach to their costings, which did not include the benefits of growth. Okay. Well, that's just a bit of a piece of what the Lib Dems have said there, which I do like. I like what they're saying. I love the fact they want to do proportional representation. Obviously, what kind of proportional representation we don't know. Obviously, we'll have to read. We will read into the manifesto in detail at some point. When I'm going to be able to do that, I don't know, but I will obviously keep an eye out on the community posts. Make sure your notifications are on so you'll know when that will come out, when I will be doing that. I may even make the video tomorrow along with the world's news round. Not confirmed or anything, but I definitely want to look into this. But there's a lot happening this week, guys. There's a lot to cover this week. I was even contemplating making this completely about the Lib Dems manifesto, but I decided not to because I think there's a lot of other things to discuss as well. Just going to have a quick look to see what you guys are saying in the chat. Simon says 55. Good to see you there, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Ty reading the manifesto, but it's too long and complicated, so read from a news article and a Politics UK tweet, says Terry Regan. Yeah, but I think we also, I'm not saying that Politics UK or a news article isn't, but I think if you want to be absolutely clear what the Lib Dems are actually saying specifically in detail, you want to read it straight from the source, because sometimes they don't always give it. They're not always very clear about what they say. But I totally understand why you wouldn't want to read the whole thing, sort of thing, which is it's different for everyone. If it's okay, if not, you can concentrate on all shorts live, my friend. We have got this. Yeah, it's entirely up to you guys. Yeah, I always stream at this time, so he just decides to stream whenever he wants to, Marcus. So he's totally cool, and it's fine there. So, but yeah, we will read into it more in detail in due course, guys. But I'll let you guys know when that comes around, because obviously I wasn't aware the manifestos were all coming out in the same week, but I only just found out today. So I wasn't going to cover this story because it's not on the details, but I thought this was quite interesting. I just wanted to share this little odd one, guys, for you guys. I don't know too much about this. I've only just seen the headline for it. So this is also from The Guardian. Brighton's general election candidate aims to be the UK's first AI MP. Stephen Ennicock claims his artificial intelligence produces avatar would answer constituents' questions and concerns. Now, there's a lot of holes in this AI MP. First of all, obviously, he can't go out and about and talk to constituents on the street. Secondly, he'll be on a computer screen. And thirdly, he won't be able to be in Parliament. So this is a bit of a weird one, to say the least. So let me read into this, guys. So politicians is too serious for a matter to be left to the politicians, so the saying goes. This may be why a businessman in the south of England is proposing a novel solution, putting himself forward as a candidate in the UK general election as the first AI MP. AI Steve is a nominee on the list of candidates for the 4th of July general election in Brighton Pavilion, last held by the Green Party's Caroline Lucas, who is stepping down. The man behind AI Steve is Steve Ellicott, a self-described entrepreneur who lives in Rochdale but maintains a house in Brighton. Ellicott, who is the chair of an artificial intelligence company called Neural Voice but made his fortune in the travel sector, claims he will attend Parliament to vote on policies as guided by AI Steve's feedback from his constituents. He claims the AI representative would answer constituents' concerns and questions using a replication of Ellicott Voice's voice and an avatar. AI Steve was created to ensure that the people of Brighton and Hove had 24/7 access to the opinions and the creative politics it wrote on his website. What could possibly go wrong, says Joe Lefty. Yeah, what could possibly go wrong? Etiquette 59 described himself as a capitalist with socialist consensus. Steve comes from a working class background with a mother who worked in Tesco's and a father who unloaded ships in the shipping docks. He understands the value of money and greatly appreciates that the success of his business exploits has left him relatively wealthy and able to enter politics without needing the financial rewards that some others seek. On the environment, he says Steve is deeply concerned about global warming but hesitates to join the Green Party as he's focused on implementing practical and affordable green policies. Avocott's party, Smarter UK, was not registered in time for the election, so AI Steve will stand as an independent. Etiquette unsuccessfully stood for the Conservatives in the local election in Rochdale in 2022 in the ward and Millbowl and Newry. He received 487 votes. Other candidates in Brighton Pavilion including Sheen Berry for the Greens, Tom Gray for Labour, Ashley Ridley for the Liberal Democrats and Sarah Webster for the Conservatives. Edahut, I can't say the name properly, has been approached for comment on this. It's a It is very weird one. It is a very weird one. So it would be an actual MP, but he would instead of him actually being the MP, he would let the AI do everything. I'm just kind of imagining. I'm imagining right now this in the town centre of Brighton Pavilion, like him there, the AI Steve, like literally being there on a screen or something. And then they say, like, like you say, Alexa, you'll say Steve, and then Steve will say yes, and then you will ask a question about politics or whatnot, and Steve will give you an answer right there in the streets of. That's exactly the future. That is the future, apparently. So the future is AI MPs now. I do think this is a bit. We're not ready for this, if I'm honest. I think it's a fascinating one to say the least. I'll just show him again. There he is, the AI MP there. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting one for sure. That is the artificial intelligence MP. It will certainly get people talking. I wonder who would get more votes, this AI MP or Count Binface? Answers in the comments down below. What do you guys think about an artificial intelligence MP? I certainly think they would be more competent than a Conservative candidate. I think we can all agree with that. Countdown to Power, good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Casper Norva is also here as well. Good to see you both. Hope you guys had a good weekend. Stu Viking President, good to see you there as well. Hope you're doing well. No, that's fine, Mad Monks. All good, all good, all good. Make sure you send in my love as always. Oh God, the Brits have gone AI mad, says Chow. Don't you worry. You'll have your AI. You'll have your AI politician at some point, I'm sure. The manifesto of the political parties in the UK lack one thing. Where is the money coming from? Says Jow. Yep, it's always a case of money, money, money. That's what it always comes down to, doesn't it? Bin face 4 PM. Yeah, I did see the video that Phil from a Different Bias did on Count Binface, to be fair. They did an AI in another country so they couldn't arrest him, LOL, says Stu. Yes, they can't arrest me if I'm not real. I'll just go into the World Wide Web. You can't catch me in there. Yeah. Oh, what's wrong with my screen? It's a bit off. There we go. Okay, so the next one, guys, I've got, it's a couple of days old, but this is the latest I have on this story. So, as you guys I've covered a while ago, as you guys know, that the Green Party had some anti-Semitic, some candidates with some anti-Semitic comments. Now, I haven't seen a follow-up to this, but this was obviously this article was on the day, obviously, that the deadline for the candidates were coming through. So the Greens have dropped some candidates after online post probe. So obviously, this is regarding the anti-Semitism that is within the Green Party. Again, if anyone has seen an updated version, please let me know. But I've not seen any more to this than this article, really. There's not been like an update from anyone I've seen on this. So just to give a bit of a highlight of context to this, so the Green Party said it has blocked a small number of election candidates after an investigation into their online activity. The party was still examining previous social media posts hours before nominations closed at 4 p.m. BST on Friday. It was already known that 4 candidates are not running after a probe into reports of anti-Semitic or extremist comments. But it is not yet clear whether or not how many other candidates have been dropped. The co-leader, Adrian Ramsey, told the BBC on Thursday that 4 candidates were no longer standing without specifying whether they had been dropped or withdrew themselves. It came as the Times reports. By the way, I could not find this Times report. Party officials were examining nearly 20 candidates over online material on Thursday night, less than 24 hours before their deadline. In a statement, the party said it had taken decisive action against a small number of people who did put themselves forward. We will never allow anyone anti-Semitic to stand for the Green Party, a spokesperson added. The Greens are hopeful to fill candidates in every seat in England and Wales for the first time at the surprise general election called last month. This requires the candidates to find 575 candidates in total, 103 more than the last election in 2019. The Scottish Greens are a separate party. The party has defended its vetting process but has faced accusations some of its candidates have expressed or shared anti-Semitic statements online. The Greens have previously said they are working with Lord Mann, a former Labour MP and a government advisor on anti-Semitism, to better educate Green representatives about anti-Jewish racism. The Board of Deputy of British Jews accused the Greens of taking too long to act such a clear problem. Serious parties need to take serious candidate selection seriously. The Greens need to see this as a wake-up call, the community group added. I'm so surprised. You know what? I really am surprised that they take. You know what? I've got to bring up this. I've got to bring this up, guys. Because they're saying they're taking too long to deal. They're taking too long to deal with this. This is absolutely ridiculous. Where is that? Where is that article from the Byline Times? I need to show this. Where is that one? There was one about a certain Labour candidate, and I don't see them saying anything about this. Where is it? I just want to show you the headline. There we go. That's the one. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I wasn't planning on sharing this, but I just wanted to share this with you. So I'm covering this in a separate video. But yeah, where's their? I covered this and I recorded the video today. Where was their anger over this? Labour candidate and Starmer ally faces anti-Semitism complaints over controversial remarks on Marxist Jews. Luke Anar remarks about Marxist Jews spark outrage, with critics claiming they play into good Jew, bad Jew trope. I didn't hear anything from them on this. I didn't hear nothing from them on this. So where was their anger on this? Huh? Where was their anger on this? Answers on a postcard, please. Like, please. Like, it's hypocrites. Absolute hypocrites. Like, they're attacking the Greens, but they won't attack Labour. It's just one side of the affairs right there, guys. On Thursday, Mr. Ramsey defended the party's investigation, saying it was independent of the party's leadership and this was a matter of good governance. Like any other party, we have candidates who are selected and end up not standing. There is no difference to anyone else. If anyone has a situation where questions are raised about comments people have raised, these are properly investigated. The Greens took a pro-ceasefire stance early on during the war in Gaza and are calling for tougher action against Israel, including boycotts and stopping UK arms sales to Israel's Israeli military. That's just an obvious one, really. It's previously said it opposes any effort to exploit the ongoing tragedy in Israel-Palestine to foster division, intensify anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, and other forms of racism. So they have responded to the anti-Semitism, which is a good thing. I'm glad that they have responded to it. I just wanted to you know, them obviously having a go at the Greens there, and they're obviously being radio silent about that Labour candidate. That Labour person I just highlight to you guys just shows the hypocrisy there. Like they'll attack the Greens, but they won't attack Labour there. So I just really wanted to put that in there for you guys, and it's good that they've responded to this, and they needed to respond to this. Does it mean that the Greens are all but hunky-dory and perfect and rosy? No, of course not. They still have their issues and their challenges, but they're certainly a lot better, in my opinion, than some of the problematic problems that the Labour Party has. But obviously, you know, I was watching one or two videos about certain. I think it was from Politics Joe and one others were about speaking to some constituents in a certain town. I think it was Boston. I don't know where Boston is in the UK, but there were one or two people who obviously like the Greens, so people are aware of them, which is a good sign there. Just going to have a look, see what you guys are saying in the chat. Just having a funny live YouTube chat video there. Just asking Reform candidate says UK should have taken Reform candidate says UK should have taken Hitler up on his offer of neutrality. Is he right? With no, of course not. No, and he's a dumbass. No, but they're all the same, as in all the whole Reform Party. And the other one is, does he even know who Hitler is? So it's just a bit of a funny poll one, guys, today. That I couldn't think of a proper one, but there'll be a proper community post Normally I do every community post every Tuesday, 7 a.m. So there'll be a proper one in tomorrow morning if you guys want to cast your vote on that. Countdown to Power says, I hate the way these anti-Semitism is used as a political tool these days. It should be called out whenever the party comes from, obviously. Yeah, any party. Like I don't think enough of it is done from the Conservative point of view as well. There is that in the Conservative Party as well. Yes, Labour has anti-Semitism, it still has some issues, and the Greens have obviously, there you can see they are dealing with the so-called anti-Semitic issues there, which is good. I don't hear anything about the Lib Dems. I've not heard anything about the Lib Dems, so maybe they don't have any anti-Semitism issues. I could be wrong, but I don't hear anything. But we know there's some in the Conservatives. We know there's issues in Labour, and obviously the Green Party look like they've dealt with it. But we'll have to wait and see on that. But yeah, regardless of whatever party you are, and it should be dealt with. Ben Shaw, good to see you there, buddy. Hope you're doing well. If these people are in politics, how do they forget to shut their mouths about something, says Jal. Swept under the carpet, says Haz the Kier. Yeah, definitely there. Allshall says hi back, says Mad Monk. Oh, well, say hi back again. Everyone's saying hello. Scottish Greens are registered in Scotland, not London, so they are a different party. Yes, it's very important to emphasise that. People are trying to smear the two parties as the same because they both say Green. They're not the same party. I think it's a very important context there. Hello, Akismag. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Have you heard about the guy who made the coconut comment? I heard about it, but I don't know who it is. I heard a story. I think it was on Twitter, or I might have been listening to No Justice's live stream for a bit as well today. But that definitely sounds familiar. I can't remember who, but you'll have to refresh my memory on that one. So, guys, we're going to take a little break from this, guys. I've got a funny video for you guys, but just before I do, if you haven't already, please hit the like button. We greatly appreciate it. Share it across social media so others are notified of this video. And if you haven't already, please subscribe, because it really does help support the channel. It helps me, and it supports the gang here. Pingu, Ollie, and Cash Dummy here. If you can support them in any way, shape, or form, please do so. It really does help support the channel. Again, apologies. I hope to get the lava lamp back up and running soon. It's just a case of changing the light bulb. I had a spare light bulb for it, and I just haven't been able to find it. And it might be because I'm doing a lot of other things as well. So it is on my to-do list, guys. I will try and get the lava lamp back in time, hopefully for the next premiere or live stream for you guys. So apologies for that. But anyways, some guy from Portsmouth wants to talk to you guys. Some guy called Colin. He claims to be from Portsmouth. Some people have said he's not from Portsmouth, but I'll let him speak for himself there.
Colin from Portsmouth is on the line. Hello, Colin.
I am delighted, Anthony. Absolutely delighted. Why wasn't this announced before?
What's happened, Colin? You sound worryingly happy.
He's finally standing. Farage, the saviour.
Yeah.
He didn't want to stand last week because helping out America was more patriotic than helping
Yes.
Britain.
Yes.
But now Trump's a convicted felon. He's shown he can change his mind about even the worst mistakes.
Yeah.
It's the right thing to do.
Just like Brexit.
No, not that. The people have spoken on Brexit, Anthony. You know this. No, Farage says what people are thinking.
Yeah, he says what 12% of people are thinking. Absolutely.
And what 60% of Conservatives are privately thinking.
True.
Clacton will be lucky to have him. He'll dilute their right-wing vote like Great British sewage water in Ribena.
That's right. Clacton's in Essex, isn't it? So, yeah, good luck to him.
He's from Kent, I believe. He doesn't
Kent,
live in
he's
Essex,
from Kent.
But, hold on.
What?
Oh, my God.
What's that, Colin? What's happened?
Coming over to Essex from outside, he's an immigrant.
Well, I think it's expat, Colin, technically, and I'm not sure it counts county to
Of course
county.
it counts. He's increasing net migration when he would have decreased it by going to America. Just looking at a map here, it's not easy going from Kent to Essex.
No, it's not, is it? Easiest way is by sea, Colin, or the Thames Estuary.
He'll be coming by boat.
I think he will.
A small boat, and he'll be taking the job of a talented, native, Essex-born reform candidate. Does he even speak the language? Why didn't he stop in the first state constituency?
To be fair, I think that is the first safe constituency. Colin, you okay? Colin! Colin!
Anyway, Anthony, thanks for having me on. Love to the family.
Love to the family, Colin. Love to the family.
I haven't heard from Lee Anderson in a while. It's a bit weird, isn't it?
Colin.
How have I missed this one? Oh, that was a week ago, guys. That one is. That's from the YouTube channel, The Exploding Heads, guys. Make sure you subscribe to their YouTube channel. Link for that funny video is in the description down below. Make sure you give it a watch. Like, share, subscribe, all that stuff, yeah, for their channel, guys. It really does. Super Tiny 808, good to see you there. Hope you're doing well. Count Out of Power said it was the Conservative candidate, Gavin Hardin. Google his name after you're done here. You'll be shocked at the comment and disgusted at the lies following it. Wait a minute. This is, I think this is to do that oh, that's right. I think you've just reminded me now, Countdown. This was the candidate. This was the candidate. He mocked somebody for was it for charity for D-Day, wasn't it? And he raised money for D-Day by jumping out the plane and all that kind of stuff as a for veterans and whatnot. And the Conservative candidate mocked him. I believe this is the same candidate. I'm pretty sure that is the one. If it is, yeah, he was an absolute twat, yeah, for doing so. Yeah, that's the guy. Yeah. I don't have that story here, but yeah, absolute fool of a man. There's too many stories, but yeah, it was absolutely disgraceful to say the least. That was that guy. Ridiculous one to say the least. So the next one I've got for you guys is from the Independent. Obviously, we don't know what the manifestos are, but obviously we're expecting them to come out this week. Oh, what the hell? What's happened to the screen? Sorry, 1 second. Don't know why my screen jumps like that. That's very weird. Starmer is facing calls to be clear on climate as a new poll warns half of voters unsure of Labour's plans. The new campaign launched as Labour prepares to unveil its general election manifesto on Thursday. Oh boy, Thursday! Oh my God, that's gonna be interesting to say the least. Oh my God, what is wrong with this screen? I swear, the Independent has bombarding with so much adverts nowadays. It's insane. Oh, hold on a second. What are they doing with this? Hold on, let me 1 second, guys. I'm just going to try and refresh it if that will fix it. Okay, I think that's fixed it. Yeah, looks like it's fixed it. That's good. Okay, there we go. Let's start again. So, Keir Starmer is facing calls to be cleaner on climate change as a new poll warns half of voters are unsure of Labour plans. Now, like I always say with polls, just take them with a pinch of salt on this. The surveyation figure also shows that less than a third, that's 30%, believe that they know what the party would do in government. My God, there's so many adverts. It's insane. Greenpeace, which commissioned the poll, has launched a new campaign, Keir Be Clear, ahead of Labour's general election manifesto launch on Thursday. Keir Be Clear, that's a nice little catchphrase. Very nice little catchphrase. Whether it will jump on, I don't know. But it's a nice little catchy one, that's for sure. The environmental group, which caused controversy last year when they dropped 200 square metres of oil black fabric over Rishi Sunak's 2 million manor house in Yorkshire, says Labour has the opportunity to win over voters who are hungry for change on the climate. Now, I've said this before, but the thing is that I'll say this again, and I have to repeat this because not everybody gets this. Yes, they did roll back the £28 million pledge on the climate thing, but they said they haven't abandoned the policy. They've just reduced the amount of money invested on it down to like someone needs ad blocker. No, it's just the Independent. It's like 22 million pounds or so, something along those lines. But no, it's not me. It's the Independent, Joe Lefty. But Labour, I still believe that Labour are committed to tackling the climate. I really do believe that. I don't think it's just word for mouth. I do actually believe they're more inclined to change the climate for the better. But it's obviously just a case of they don't want to hamstring the general public because of the situation that many are in there. So Labour watered down its environmental investment plans earlier this year when it ditched its plans to invest £28 billion a year. And as a result, the party has radically scaled down plans to insulate millions of homes, saying the Conservatives were to blame for crashing the economy. Yeah, see, the thing is, because the Conservatives crashed the economy, they've been using this, I don't want to say excuse, because that's not the right word, but it's a nice way of them being able to kind of curtail back on some of their policies a little bit. I don't think that's intentional, but it definitely gives them an opening for them to say that, because they can keep saying, "Oh, well, Liz Truss crashed the economy, so we don't have the same amount of money as we did before." Yeah, so I'm kind of like, and I don't like that they continue to keep blaming the economy being crashed by the Conservatives. It's like, we don't, like, you're going to be in charge. You just deal with what's, just say what you want to do and have a plan for it and stick to it. Party's now set to spend 23.7 billion. That's it. Yeah, over the next 5 years. Parliament, on top of 10 billion a year, it says the government has already committed. Labour has also pledged to create a clean energy company, Great British Energy. Now, I've heard a lot of controversial things about this. So a lot of people are saying that this is not going to be publicly owned. This is going to be privately investments and whatnot. So I'm very skeptical about this Great British Energy the more I've heard about it. But let's wait and see if they come into power and how it does, guys. So, which it says will bring down household bills and make the UK less reliant on countries like Russia. We don't rely that much on Russia anyway, to be fair, guys. We don't. We rely on Scotland. The party has also vowed to clamp down on water companies that harm the environment and pollute our rivers with automatic and severe fines, and give a regulatory new powers to block bonuses. I like the fact that they're going to give the regulator new powers, but I just feel like they need to be doing more. They need to do more with regards to the water companies. I really, really do. The poll also found 71% of Labour 2019 voters think Sir Keir should ramp up action on climate and nature in Downing Street, alongside 38% of Tory voters. A Surveyton interviewed 2,040 people between the 24th... Oh my God, really? Between the 24th... Sorry, guys, I don't know. I've never had this problem with independence before. 24th and 27th of May 2024. Georgia Winkeltaker from Greenpeace UK said Labour had a unique opportunity to put ambitious climate and nature solutions at the heart of a positive and hopeful vision for the country's future. Wow, it's been right terrible now. The government can cut bills by investing properly in coal and to fix cold homes, create jobs by boosting public transport and tax fossil fuel giants, she said. And Starmer can reclaim Britain's global leadership on climate and nature in the process. We desperately need a new government that puts the need of the ordinary people and climate and nature before the profits of the rich polluting elite. Yeah, I think we all agree with that. I don't think anyone's arguing that, but when people up and down the country have already had enough, they're fed up with being ignored, and they're calling for politicians who have a proper plan to repair the climate, restore nature, and revive the economy. Sir Keir should seize the chance to be clear on climate in this election and win over the electorate. Whether they will or not will be another thing for sure. That is, I will say, obviously. Yeah, I'm not going to Just give me 1 second. I'm actually, I was originally going to cover, the next piece was also going to be from, Reform. Sorry, not Reform, from The Independent, but I'm not going to do it from them because I'm sick of the advert, so I'll use a different piece on that. But just on going back on this one, like, I do feel that Labour have a much more positive approach and a more proactive approach to the climate than the Conservatives. I think that's a given. I think we can all be in agreement of that. Now, how much of a push they will be up for debate. And obviously, if the Lib Dems and the Greens do make gains, which we expect them to, they will obviously try to push a Labour government to push more on green investment and continue to pressure them. And I expect them to do so. I hope they do push them down that road towards more green investment and push them further down it, push it a bit more than what Labour want to. And I just hope that whatever happens in this first term, they really do make some significant progress in comparison to what the Conservatives are doing. Because I have said in the past, guys, that the Conservatives have made some progress on climate in the last 14 years, and I say the word some. They have some, because we do have to acknowledge that. But have they gone anywhere near enough? No. And we know that the Prime Minister is more in favour of oil and gas and all that kind of thing because he approved the Rosebank. And he's taxed, and he's taxed wind and solar for some dumbass reason, which makes absolutely no sense whatsoever as well. So yeah, bit stupid there. Live YouTube chat polls asking, bit of a fun one, asking if the Reform candidate says UK should have taken Hitler up on his offer of neutrality, is he right? It's a bit of a fun one, not one to take seriously. No, of course not. No, and he's a dumbass. No, but they're all the same. Does he even know who Hitler is? I don't think he knows who Hitler is, if I'm honest, guys. But yeah. But yeah, I'm more inclined to say no, he's a bit of a dumbass for those comments, if I'm honest, guys. That's what I think anyway. Alistair Keir, thank you for the £5 super chat. Much appreciated, my friend. The problem with Lib Dems, are you voting for them? Are you getting Tory or Labour 2010? That comes to mind regularly. Yeah, people are, yeah, I know. 2010 was 14 years ago as well. And yep, they did make failed promises as well. But I think, but have they moved on from that? Because some parties make mistakes and some parties learn from them. And the question you have to ask yourself, have the Lib Dems learned from that mistake, is the question you need to be asking yourself. Are they saying anything, that they shouldn't be saying? Are they doing something really silly that you shouldn't be saying? I think that's a question you want to be asking yourself. If you're someone from England and you were well aware of the Lib Dems and that coalition, yes, they made false promises, but do we expect them to make the same false promises? I think that's a question that we need to be asking ourselves. The Lib Dems sound good. Sound like a good name for a pub, preferably a Lib Dem voting area, says Super Tiny 808. Don't worry if you can't access money, Super Tiny. That's fine. If you can't financially support me, that's fine. The best way to support me non-financially is hitting the like button, sharing across social media, and subscribing. Leaving comments in my videos, watching the videos a bit longer than you would. Doing all that stuff helps support me. So those are the ways, if you want to support me in a non-financial way, they're the best ways to do so. Aki's Mayor says, yes, but yes, you do rely on Scotland for your oil and gas. How do you know we aren't Russian propagandists? I know Big Madge is. What? What are you saying about Big Madge? How dare you? How dare you say that about him? 91 Leeds, good to see you there, buddy. Hope you're doing well. I remember Tories blaming everything on Labour's economy decisions for years and hated it. I'm not sure I like Labour doing it, to be honest, even though it's true in their case. Yeah, this is the thing. Like, it's easy, like, pointing fingers back and forth at each other, the two main parties, but it's like, we don't want you pointing fingers back at each other. We want to know what you're going to do, sort of thing. That's kind of it. I was going to do manifesto reaction, but struggled reading it on the Lib Dem page, says Terry Regan. That's all right. I'm going to be reading it at some point, Terry. So you're fine. They can't make any radical promises as they're currently preaching to the centre, and they don't want to drop the vase, says Super Tiny. Yeah. The other thing as well is, of course, obviously, yeah, they don't want to lose the polling that they have at the moment. They don't want to lose that grip, Labour. So they are playing it safe, just like Angela Rayner did kind of try and play it as safe as possible in that 7 political debate, and I expect her to do the same on Wednesday. Is it Wednesday? Let me check. Yeah, what's the date? 10th. Yeah, on the no, sorry, not Wednesday. Thursday. Thursday is the 7 political party debate on ITV. I believe it's all the same candidates. It's the same people as well. It's the same candidates, I believe, as well. So I expect Angela Rayner to do the same thing, just to try and get through it, not really push too much or too less, sort of thing. I think that's what she will do, but we'll have to wait and see. Alistair Keir, thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships. DS was gifted the membership. Jon Snow, Jon Snow from the north. Killer, good to see you. Oh, he's not actually here, but he was gifted a membership as well, and Martin Arnold as well. Good to see Killer there. I didn't know that he was watching obviously the live stream from Bowler when I was chatting to Bowler Hatman. I may be having another conversation with him soon, guys. I'll let you guys know. I'll let you guys know in a bit. And Julia Budwin was also gifted a membership. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Alistair Keir, for the 5 gifted memberships and the £5 super chats. Really greatly appreciated. Just before I go to the next topic, just to remind you guys, because obviously I want to talk about this this reform idiot candidate. If you can and you want to financially support me in any way, shape or form, you can do so by becoming a YouTube member for just 99p. 99p doesn't sound like a lot, but it really does make a big difference. It really supports the work that I do here. I don't just do the work here, content here on YouTube, whether it's short videos, main videos, or live streams. Here I also do content on Patreon and on Rumble. I have 5 videos dropping this week on Patreon, as well as 5 videos dropping on Rumble. Most of the videos on Rumble are about Israel and Gaza, so if you want a bit more opinion paste and more detail on that, check out the Rumble page. The link for that is in the description as well. But if you want to financially support me, yeah, YouTube membership is one of the best ways to do so. Get access to custom emojis as well, and whenever you comment on any of my videos, I always respond to my members. So if you comment on any of my videos, whatever it might be, I'll always respond. Sometimes it takes a few days for me to respond, but I always respond to your comments, just so you guys know. Obviously I acknowledge pretty much anyone in the chat, members or non-members anyway, but if you're here, obviously I'll give you a nice wave and acknowledgement as well. So thank you very much for doing so. And if you're a $2.99 member, you get early access to comments. Some of you guys may have seen a couple of videos have dropped today for the members already. That will get them beforehand as well. So yes, there'll be some videos dropping over the next few days. But the Snowflake Corporals, that's the $2.99 level, they will get access to that content a lot earlier. So other ways, if you want to financially support me, other ways you can is by buying me a coffee. Links in the description as well, and by joining the Patreon community as well. So, and I actually get a bigger cut from Patreon than I do from YouTube. So if you wanted to support me on there, please feel free to do so as well. And yes, if you access that links tree that Jao has put in the description down below, guys, it gives you access to all my social medias on there as well. So I do have a Facebook page as well. I was doing exclusive content on there, but the problem was, guys, I stopped doing it because I was only getting 1, maybe 2 viewers. So yeah, that's why I stopped doing that on there. So it's not really worth me doing exclusives on the Facebook page, I'm afraid. But I will still continue to do exclusives on Patreon and Rumble as well, guys. So let's talk about this. Silly candidate, guys. So Reform UK candidate apologises over his Hitler neutrality comments. Yeah, you say sorry now. Let's read into this. So, a Reform UK candidate has apologised for claiming the country would have been far better if it had taken Hitler up on his offer of neutrality instead of fighting the Nazis in World War II. What do you guys think would have happened if we actually had done that? Do you honestly think that we would have been left alone like the Swiss while he continued to dominate while he continued to control all of Europe? Do you honestly think that he wouldn't be building up you honestly think if we had claimed neutrality, do you honestly think that he would have just sat there in Europe, and then once he overwhelmed the Soviet Union, do you think he would just continue to ignore the British Empire? Do you not think he wouldn't expanded over to Asia? The world domination. It sounds daft, but you don't think that he would push over on China, Japan, take on the British Raj at some point as well? Would we still stay neutral on that? And then he would end up building a big enough navy force to overwhelm the British Navy and shore up on our shores, and eventually after America as well. It's not a stupid story. This would have generally happened if we had. He wanted to conquer the world. He was a madman, but he was a madman that conquered pretty much the majority of Europe. And Russia almost fell with Moscow, didn't they? So people really don't have. This person obviously doesn't have much. Doesn't really have much of a history lesson behind him. You know, really, it's worth doing a bit of history noticing. This man would not have stuck to his neutrality. He would have broken it. He would have declared war on us, and he would have declared war on Switzerland as well. It was going to happen. Like, yeah, it's a silly thing. Ian Gribben, the party's candidate for Bexley on Battle, also wrote online that women were the sponging gender and should be deprived of healthcare. Wow. Okay. I think someone's never had a girl of a friend before. Just saying. Certainly if it comes across that way, that comment. In post from 2022 on the Unheard magazine website, seen by the BBC, he said Winston Churchill was abysmal and praised Russian President Vladimir Putin. The only thing Winston Churchill, I think, was abysmal on, I think, yeah, we can agree on, is what he did to the Indian people, taking their food and whatnot away, which I think is absolutely true. What he did there was what he did to there. That was absolutely abhorrent. But he was critical, yeah, we was critical fundamental part of World War II. Initially, Mr. Gibbon declined to comment, but later said, "I apologise for these old comments and withdraw them unreservedly and the upset that they have caused." He has said that he himself had been upset at the way these comments were taken out of context, especially when my mother was the daughter of a Russian Jew fleeing persecution. Taken out of context? You said them! When the comments first came to light, a Reform Party spokesperson suggested they were not endorsements but arguing points in long-distance debates. Okay, sure. But asked about the comments at a press conference later, the party's chairman, Richard Tice, said that if people did inappropriate things or said daft things, then the party would look at it and investigate. Reform UK leader Nigel Farage said every party will face issues with vetting candidates due to unexpected election timing, which had cut short the party's check parties carried out. In July 2022, Mr. Gibson posted on the Unheard website, Britain would be in a far better state today if it were taken Hitler up on his offer of neutrality. Yeah, because clearly, like, he was taken out of context there. It was taken out of context without a shadow of a doubt. But, oh no, Britain's warped mindset values were notions of international morality rather than looking after its own people. Yeah, because you clearly know how the British public were feeling back in between 1936 and 1944. You knew exactly how the British mindset was, don't you, Mr. Gibson? Yeah, you definitely know that. In the same month, he wrote, in Britain specifically, we need to extradite the cult of Churchill and recognise that both in policy and military strategy, he was abysmal. Right, well, that's just plain stupid there. The previous month, he criticised women writing on the site boards, do you think you could actually work and pay for it like all good citizens? I don't think he gets out a lot. Men pay 80% of tax, women spend 8% of tax revenue. On aggregate, as a group, you only take from society. Has he spent any time with women? I'm going to go out on a limb and say he probably doesn't. I think the only woman he's probably spent time with is probably his mum. Yeah, you really need to... There is this saying, especially if you're someone who uses Twitter like me. It's a very simple message. Think before you tweet. Think before you comment. Think before you post anything. Like, really think. Yeah, if you post something or say something and you know, no matter what your emotions are, think about what you're saying, because if you're not careful, those words can come back to bite you, even if you delete it straight after. You really should think about what you're saying. Less complaining, please, from the spondering gender. I think you're the one who's complaining, boy. He added that women are subsidized by... No, God, I'm not even going to say that. In January 2022, he posted, men pay 8% of tax. Yeah, okay, sure. Sure, boy, sure. Square that inequality by first depriving women of healthcare until their life they are the same as men's. Fair is fair. He, obviously, yeah, he has never... I think... I don't think he's ever had... he's never been in a bedroom with a woman before. I'm just going to go out on a limb with that. In December 2021, he wrote, female soldiers always make me wrench, and they were a total liability. How do you know? Have you been on the front line with one? Have you been on the front line with one? No, of course you haven't. In the run-up to the invasion of Ukraine, he praised Vladimir Putin, writing in January 22 that he had shown a maturity of what we can only dream of. What? By declaring war on a country? Okay. He understands the bonds that create more stable societies, the hypocrisy of the West, and the preposterous that we stare in the face of daily, the enormous economic equalities created by deluded neoliberal ideas, he wrote. In February, Mr. Gibbons wrote, if only the West had politicians of his class. A Reform UK spokesperson initially said that though offensive archaeologically, the BBC has found that Mr. Gibson made a series of comments about a number of subjects. They were written with an eye to inconvenience perpetitious and truths. That doesn't make them endorsements, just arguing points in a long-distance debate. No, what he said was wrong, stupid, and he should be dropped. But we know you're not going to drop him. His historical perspective of what UK could have done in his 30s was shared by the vast majority of British establishment, including the BBC in its day, and it's probably true. How on earth would you know that? That's just BS there. Again, no endorsement, just pointing out controversial, forgotten truths. Again, yeah, again, like, you know, you're not endorsing, but again, like... As for the feminism point, his tongue is so firmly in his cheek, no one should be able to spot it from 100 yards. Well, it was spotted. It was spotted. The BBC is aware of at least 16 former potential parliamentary candidates for reform who are no longer standing because of inappropriate offensive comments. This compares to 8 for the Green Party, 5 to Labour, 3 for the Conservatives, 2 for the Lib Dems, and 1 for the Workers' Party of Britain. Okay, so they've claimed that 8 members of the Green Party were pushed out because of anti-Semitism, I think, there. Plaid Cymru has also withdrawn support of one candidate over social media posts because this was after the nominations closed. They will remain on the ballot as Plaid candidate. Oh, I just want to have a quickie little nose here. Let's see who's in his seat there. Okay. I don't know too much about I'll just show you the Bexhill and Baxley candidates here who are taking him on. I don't expect him to win. I hope he gets an absolute drubbing, but I'm just going to show you the names there. Yeah, we're not interested in Kieran there, but yeah, those are the candidates there for that area. But yeah, I think he's going to get. I don't think he's going to. I think if anyone gives him a vote, I think they need. I think if he says anything, if he's any kind of seats, or whatever, I think the other parties need to take this piece and basically just throw it in front of any voters who try to vote for him and say, this is what he said, this is what he said, this is what he said, here's where he said it, and it will kind of really dampen him. Reform have tried to brush it over as much as they can, which is rather than actually dismissing, which is pretty disgusting to say the least. To trying to claim some votes there in that constituency area, pretty makes me sick to my stomach if I'm honest, guys. But no, it just doesn't surprise me really. The kind of people, and the thing is that I actually said on before the candidate deadline was done. I actually said I expect a wave of dirt to come out on candidates. Don't think enough dirt has come out yet. I think some people are still holding back. I'm still expecting media are holding back on some of the dirt on some of these people. And Jaron Wallace, if I didn't see you there before, good to see you. I hope you're doing well. But yeah, I just think they're holding back on dirt on some sorts. But like, yeah, it only takes looking a bit more. Jon Snow from Channel 4 News. Oh, didn't think of Jon Snow from Channel 4 News. Good point, Terry. Good point, Jerry. Churchill allowed the Blitz to happen, says Terry Regan. Me thinks he's a misogynist, says Jan Wallace. Yep, I think so too. People need to stop trying and think beyond a novel of a game of what could have been. It's lost time, says Jal. Exactly, his domestic politics were terrible. He was the right man at the right time, but he wasn't the hero he's made out to be, just a competent warmonger. Thinking that myself, says Alistair Keir. Jal says, I have talked often about Churchill's crimes in Ireland, for example, or the bombings of Dresden. I also speak of his monstrous and effective military tactics to each one. Yeah, I mean, he was very good in the war and tacticians, but when it comes to policies and some other decisions, which obviously cost lives as well. So there are many cons to his pros, that is for sure. But because of what he done for Britain, they mar over the negativity of him. Which I don't think is right. I think it's important that history we know of what he did in terms of World War II, but people should also be aware of the mistakes that he made too, because it shows that. Because then you tell kids that yes, Churchill helped in the war, but he is also a man of mistakes too, and this is why he's made these mistakes, to emphasize this point that no human is perfect and everyone makes mistakes. And we should learn from these mistakes, and that's the kind of thing you would want to be teaching your kids, rather than just putting a hero in front of them and not showing any negatives here, but only positives to them, so that children can understand the mistakes, that nobody is perfect and everyone makes mistakes. Captain of the Power says his military strategy was abysmal. I hate to admit it because he was a Tory, but he was brilliant, effective, and competent leader. His politics, not so much. Yeah, his politics was absolutely terrible. They kept shoving him around in constituencies as well, just to keep him in Parliament. Churchill was a Canan also says Churchill was a product of his time and his experience. We shouldn't forgive his racism, but we should contextualize it. It wasn't unreal at the time. Yeah, I do agree. Yeah, and I think it's important to recognise that. Problem is these days we have folks like Putin and Netanyahu, so ... so super tiny. Yeah, that's true. We have them as well. Yeah. Yeah, thanks for that, guys. I'm probably going to end the poll because we've got just two more articles for you guys as well. So this one here is why I feel like my screens are all over the place today, guys. It's probably because I've been swapping and changing things. So this one is from Sky News as well. Rishi Sunak did not consider quitting after D-Day scandal and hits back at Nigel Farage's comments about our culture. Over the weekend, rumours emerged Rishi Sunak might step down as Prime Minister before Election Day on July the 4th as the Conservatives sought to claim the backlash against the PM early D-Day departure. So, for those who weren't aware, so there was a lot of stories, there's a lot of rumour innuendo going around that Rishi Sunak wanted to quit. That he generally wanted to quit. That he had enough. And he wanted to kind of throw in the towel. There's even been rumours of obviously him wanting to be kind of overthrown, shall we say, as well, by some Conservative candidates. It's just like, if we want any chance of winning this election, we've got to take him out now. Take him out now. And it's just like, dude, we're like less than a month in before the, less than a month now till the general election, and you wanna replace Sunak now? Just I you're kind of buggered here, really. You just can't win. So Larry the Cat, good to see you there. Hope you're doing well. I mean, it's just, yeah. But this very thought of him quitting, I can actually see him literally whining and complaining, saying, this is the same guy that didn't want to go to the D-Day international event, saying, I don't want to go. And he's like, probably him in his number 10 house or on the campaign bus. He's just like, I want to go home. I can't do this anymore. I can just see him that, he just wants to get on that flight to America and be done with this place. I really get that impression. I just think he's putting on a face now at this point. I really think he just wants to get out of all this. I really do. That's how I feel now looking at this man. Yeah, I just don't think he really cares anymore at this point. Well, I don't think he cared at all, but he just wants out at this point, I think it's fair to say, guys. So Rishi Sunak did not consider resigning in the wake of the D-Day controversy. He said on Monday, as he criticised Nigel Farage's claim they did not understand our culture. After lying low over the weekend, the Prime Minister on Monday sought to draw a line under the controversy over his early departure from D-Day commemorations in Normandy. Back out on the campaign trail today, Mr. Sunak said he would continue fighting for the future of our country and carry on until the last day of the election. Senior Conservatives at the weekend were forced to deny claims he could quit before polling day on July the 4th. This morning, Policy Minister Chris Phelps told Sky News he was shocked and disappointed at the D-Day gaffe, while he also defended his close ally. Asked if he was at the weekend had considered quitting, Mr. Sunak said, "No, of course not. He would never say such a thing. I want to get out of here." No, he would never. The Prime Minister is a fighting champion. He would definitely want to. I can't do this anymore. He's definitely a valiant fighter, the Prime Minister, and he would never back down from any of this. I don't want to go to this D-Day ceremony. It's not my thing. Just no, I just don't want to do it. Can I at least take my private helicopter at least? Yeah, this is the conversation I feel like is being had behind closed doors with him and his team. I am energized about the vision we are putting forward for the country. This campaign was not even halfway through yet, he told reporters in Horsham, West Essex. He had attended other D-Day events in Normandy early on Thursday and in Portsmouth on Wednesday. He added, "There are lots of people who want to write me off, say this campaign or this election is a foregone conclusion. They've been saying that, and by the way, ever since I got this job, right? Not since this election campaign." And behind closed doors, "I can't take it anymore." Mr. Sunak added, "The reality is I'm not going to stop going. I'm not going to stop fighting for people's votes. I'm not going to stop fighting for the future of this country." I'm just having a hard time believing that, you know. Rishi Sunak serves cakes and hot drinks. Oh man, I do like me a bit of cake. I'm not sure if I want a slice of cake from Rishi Sunak though. Just saying. Striking more conciliatory tone than his apology on Friday, Mr. Sunak today said he hopes people find in their hearts to forgive me. Don't think so. You know, there were some of the veterans have really not gotten over it. Liberal Democrats said the PM had hit rock bottom by being forced to dismiss resignation rumours. The party's local government spokesperson, Helen Morgan, said, "This is a rock bottom from Rishi Sunak. A Conservative leader having to rule out resigning before Election Day shows that the wheels have completely come off the Conservative campaign." Yeah, it's just so embarrassing. It's just beyond embarrassing. Like, the thing is as well, I can laugh and all this about this, but he's the Prime Minister of our country, and it is, you know, our country really is quite embarrassing amongst the world right now. You know, they're looking at this on the outside and they're thinking, my God, how pathetic is this man? And this man is their leader. Like the world is laughing at us right now. Mr. Sunak also hit back at a claim by Nigel Farage, leader of the right-wing Reform UK party, that he does not understand our culture. The Reform UK leader has drawn condemnation after saying that the British Asian Prime Minister did not care about UK history in an attack over his decision to lead D-Day commemoration events early last week. Well, I have to say I'm kind of in agreement with Nigel Farage, which I don't like doing. I don't like being in agreement with Nigel Farage, but I think on this occasion, you kind of have to say yeah, because there's not, like I've said it in the video already, and I'm pretty sure you all agree with it, there's no reason for him to have left. There was no reason at all. He generally did not want to be there. That's the reality. Shadow Justice Secretary Shabina Mahmood branded the comments a dog whistle in politics, while Work and Pension Secretary Mel Stride said they made him very uncomfortable. Asked about the comments about being in informal briefing with reporters, the PM said, "I'm not going to get involved in that because I don't think it's good for our politics or indeed our country." Well, what's not good for our country is you still being our Prime Minister. So the clock is ticking on your time, that is for sure. And I'm sure we cannot wait, for it to end. That is for sure. Just going to see what you guys say in the chat before we go to the last article. Given how successful Sunak has been in turning into a Tory parasite, is there any doubts that he is British like Frog Tang? I think you're talking. I think you're referring to Farage there, Joe. I'm just going to go out on a limb. He probably ordered his plane ticket. He probably has his plane ticket ordered. Oh yeah, Terry. He. You know what? He probably ordered an early plane ticket, and then they had to convince him to stay on. You know what? I would not be surprised if, like, later on down the road, we hear a story that Rishi Sunak had booked his plane ticket and everything, and those within the circle had to plead with him to keep fighting. I would not be surprised if that was true. Okay, which country is this? Is the UK election? There are 4 countries. Oh, sorry, I'll get into that. I'll get into that habit. My apologies, Mad Monk. I need to stop doing that. I would not take anything from his hands. No, I would not. Parades are always disappointing for little people, says Simon 55. It would be interesting to know if he has already had any of his belongings moved out of Downing Street, says Countdown. Oh yeah, he's probably taken a lot out already. You know, I do wonder if he ever changed that wallpaper over that Karen Johnson did in number 10. He thinks he can act like Boris, but he actually can't pull it off. Yeah, that's why I agree with that, Jan. I do feel like he's taking too many things from Bojo Boris and trying to be more like him, and it's just like, that's not you. Doesn't work. Like, he should have been more himself rather than trying to be more like Boris. Maybe things would have been a little bit different in terms of the polls. Maybe it would have been a bit narrow, but he kind of stuck with it. Am I too late, says Kevin Grant. No, you're not. We got one more article, so you're all right. I'll never forgive the Tories, says Terry Regan. I know. Does anyone think he'll stick around for the count? No. I think one of the greatest things would have happened is if Count Binface gets more votes than Rishi Sunak. That won't happen, but it would be great if he did. It would be very great if he did. But one can hope, guys. One can hope. Yeah. But, all right. I've got one last piece for you guys. This one is from The Telegraph here. And, yeah, so this obviously ties into Sunak and Farage here. The headline is, all marriage plans are off, says Farage, as he rejects calls to rejoin the Tories. The Reform UK leader insists, I don't think so, after Suella Braverman declares that she was welcome into the fold. So, apparently Suella Braverman has reportedly been saying that she would welcome Nigel Farage into the fold, which does not surprise me, given that this is Suella Braverman we are talking about here. The same woman that wanted to stab Rishi Sunak and, you know, was on a tangent as a Home Secretary. I think she was one of the most evil Home Secretaries that we've ever had, and that's evil's the wrong word. Cruel. One of the most cruelest Home Secretaries that we've ever had, actually. And it's and she and Farage would actually make great buddies. Oh wait, they already are great buddies because we've already seen them partying at places together as well. So, but yeah. So Farage says there's no plans, obviously, whatsoever for any of it. But I said before that there is that outside possibility, but I don't know. I don't know if there will ever be that possibility of Reform and the Conservatives kind of going like working out some kind of a deal. I know it's very slim, very unlikely to happen, but considering the amount of lies that Nigel Farage and Reform have done, it's I know it's a 1% chance of it happening, but it's a 1% chance of it happening possibly. So what is this man had to say? So Nigel Farage has said all marriage plans are off. I didn't know he was getting married, as he rejected Suella Braverman's calls for him to rejoin the Conservative Party. Nigel Farage rejected a marriage arrangement from Suella Braverman there. Is that what they're implying? Don't like that thought at all. Too late, I've put it in your heads, chat. The Reform leader insists that he would not join the Conservatives at the moment after the former Home Secretary declared that she would welcome him into the Tory fold. Mrs Braverman insisted the Tories and Reform had to find a way to work together in the future, amid forecasts that the popularity of Mr Farage's party could cost the Conservatives dozens of seats. She told the Times, I would welcome Nigel into the Conservative Party. There's not much difference, really, between him and many of the politics that we stand for. But when asked about her remarks on Monday, Mr Farage told the PA news agency, well, look, I mean, Suella Braverman said I should rejoin the Conservatives. Why do they keep... Right, someone explain this to me. Why does everyone keep saying that he should rejoin the Conservatives? Now, was he a Conservative MP? Was he a Conservative member in the past? Because they keep saying him to rejoin the Conservatives. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't ever remember him being a Conservative member or a Conservative MP, but maybe he was when he was younger, but I don't remember that. But I don't know why they keep saying rejoin the Conservatives when he's never been an MP for them. So can someone explain to me why they keep using this term rejoin? So I'm very confused why I keep seeing that come up, because as far as I'm aware, he's been a part of UKIP, then the Brexit Party, then Reform. So ex-Tory member. Okay. But yeah, that doesn't really sit right with me, because obviously I've only ever seen him as a UKIP and Reform and Brexiteer and whatnot. I don't think so. I don't think so. He says. What they've done, allowing nearly 2.5 million people to settle in this country in the last 2 years, is most certainly not our policy. So I do like her. I do admire her, but I'm afraid at the moment all marriage plans are off. Why are you saying that? Why are you saying it like that? Terrible. I wish he wouldn't put that in our heads. Mrs. Braverman is on the Tory right and has called on Rishi Sunak to change course on issues including the tax burden, legal and illegal migration. There's no such thing as illegal migration, guys. If you've been told about illegal migration, there is no such thing. Go do your homework. And Britain's membership of the European Convention on Human Rights. Yes, because taking away our human rights is definitely one of the fundamental key policies that they want to do. They want to take your human rights. Polling shows as many as a quarter of those who backed the Conservatives in 2019 now plan to vote for reform, which has outflanked the Tories on net zero and immigration policy. Both Mr Farage and Richard Tice, the chairman of Reform, who have spoken of their wish to destroy the Conservatives and led a realignment of British political right. Tory MPs are split on whether Mr Farage, who was a Tory member between 1978 and 1992, should be welcomed back into the ranks. 1992 is a long time. It feels like a long time ago. Kemi Baganout, the business secretary and the bookmaker's favourite to succeed Mr Sunak as leader. Huh? Are you serious? Like my money's on Priti Patel, me personally. Has dismissed him as a shadow business candidate. Asked about the prospect of admitting him in the future, she told the Daily Mail, "Will Mr Farage be there doing what we're all doing, doing all those less glamorous issues, doing public meetings about pylons and potholes? There's so much we've been doing while Farage has just been laughing and mocking." This is a source from the Telegraph analysis and YouGov data here. How reform is pinching seats from the Conservatives. The estimated number of seats won by the Party of Reform were or were not on the ballot, apparently. So there's the with and the dotted lines there, with and without Reform, apparently. So they're claiming, obviously, regardless of Reform, that Labour will still have their overall majority, apparently. I'd just say, again, take those things with a pinch of salt. It came after Mr Farage used a press conference in central London on Monday to offer the Tory MPs a chance to defect after the party secured an electoral beachhead at the election. He singled out Miss Braverman and Robert Jenrick, who served as her immigration minister, as Tory MP he would like to see cross the floor. Asked whether he is likely to happen, the Tories should they lose the general election, Mr Farage predicted an escalation of the very public civil war he said he had characterised the party in recent years. "I can't even imagine the level of recriminalisation that the level is going to descend into. Therefore, the answer is quite straightforward. Once we have established the electoral beachhead for reform in the House of Commons, then, of course, I say to Suella Braverman and Robert Jenrick, we would love to have you in our party. We look forward to it very much indeed." Lord Frost has also said that the Conservatives should do a deal with Mr Farage after the election. Delivering a speech on Monday, the former Cabinet Minister said that a new Tory party would need to emerge from the electoral defeat. He said that the Tories have become too social democratic under Rishi Sunak and they need to recapture the spirit of the Boris manifesto. No. We're not. No. We don't need the recapturing the spirit of that. Hi, Reg. Good to see you there. Hope you're doing well. We're going to need to build a new movement, a reformed conservatism that will bring true conservatives from all sides together after the election, he said. Not a new party, but a new movement, but within all, but also losing my words today. Might have been because I've been talking too much today. Not a new party, but a movement within, but also beyond the Conservative Party of people who want to build a new, changed, successful country on Conservative principles. Of course, we must be ready to work with Nigel Farage when this is over and anyone who shares Conservative ideas. A constituency level poll by Salvation last week projected Reform is on track to secure 3 seats, while YouGov pollster has suggested Mr Farage return to part-line politics means it could win up to 4 constituencies. Interesting. So they think 3. YouGov thinks 4. Mr Anderson, the former deputy chairman of the Conservative Party, became Reform's first MP in March when he defected following a row of his comments he made about Sadiq Khan, which saw him stripped of the Tory whip. Yeah, he's been very quiet, Lee Anderson. It's almost like he's actually trying to fight for his seat. He's been very quiet. You don't hear him making much noise at all, guys. I think he's trying to hold on. I think he's generally trying to hold on to his seat. You know. What do you guys think in the chat? Well, I've got a funny video for you guys as well in the moment. It stuns me that there are still people who are actually grown ups that haven't seen Boris Johnson for 40 years. Unbelievable. Yeah. And not everyone listens to politics though. They just listen. They see the buffooniness. So that's the other thing. We're only making shakes for Nigel. We only want what's best for him, says Sir Larry the Cat. It's a condition of the existence of contracts according to conventional law and non-existence of preconditions that allow the cancelling of derived contract. Jow saying there to Alistair Keir. Deformed UK PLC and Farage is a majority shareholder. They are indeed. Terry Regan says, I hereby declare that Count Binface has been duly elected for Richmond and North Allington constituency. I think he'll be a fantastic person within the Houses of Parliament. They will ask him to take off his bin head, which he will vehemently refuse. What's next? Leaving the UN, says Reg. Yeah. Apparently the UN is a threat to us, apparently, according they'll say as well. Remember, Reform is a company, not a political party. A company, yes, it's very important to highlight that they are not an actual political party. Jow says, leaving the ACHR would null almost all the agreements that the UK signed with the continental Europe, including the TCA, just saying. Yeah, they want to rip it all apart, really, pretty much. It's not the lying part that bothers the Tories, it's the size of their egos. Is there room for all their egos, says Jan Wallace. Yeah, there is a lot of egos in that room, without a shadow of a doubt. Just a lot of egos. Come on, the Ewoks, says Reg. Steve Bray would make a brilliant Ewok. Steve Bray would be I would love to see Steve Bray in the House of Parliament, but I don't think that he would want that. If I'm honest. Yeah. So I've got another funny video for you guys. I hope you guys enjoy this one. This is one that dropped. Was it today? Yeah, it was actually yesterday. Actually. So this is an example of what we had the 7 political debate here, but I think this is the kind of waffle that we're going to get at this Thursday's ITV debate, guys.
What will happen is that Labour will put up your taxes by £2,000. That is what they always do. I'm not rising to this, Penny. It's absolute rubbish. Labour. This woman right here, who I'm pointing at, she is the problem. Labour are the issue. Can you hear me speaking? I'm pointing because that is what is going to happen. They want to be us. Are you okay? You don't look all right. I'm totally fine. Look, I'm going to keep speaking because they want to hear me talk and I have a good voice. Don't you dare point your finger at me. You're the issue. Liz broke us. The Conservatives broke us. I'm still talking over you because I want people to just hear my voice. £2,000! No, excuse me. My voice needs to be heard too. Look, close the non-dom loophole. We've had 14 years of this. It's a hard knock life for us. Don't you dare. It's a hard knock life for us. Enough. I think it's time for you to stand up and fight. I am standing up. No. Stand up and fight. I am bloody stood up, unlike the Conservatives, sat down on their arses. Am I right? No, you're not getting it. Come at me, Angela. Stand up and fight me. You dare to challenge a girl from Manchester. Right, where's my lightsaber? You've got no idea what a Portsmouth girl can do, bitch. Where's my sword? £2,000! 14 years of this. I'm just really, really excited to be here.
I love the Daisy Cooper at the end there. That was really good. Oh, I'm so glad she did that. Oh, that was really, really good. That was really good. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Oh, oh, we needed a bit of laughter, guys. Oh, there's too much negativity, too much like. Ah, oh, we need some comedy, yeah, throughout all of this, you guys. Angela would kick her ass, says Jal. Yeah, she probably. Actually, I don't actually know. I actually think probably Penny would, because she has been in the because she actually has been in the force. So that might not be true, but just saying that. Right. So just a couple of things for you guys. So I'm not going to cover the Scottish debate, which I was considering in my community post. I'm not going to do that now, given the manifestos are going to be coming out, guys. So I'm just going to leave it to the two Davies when it comes to any topics around the Scottish debate. I'm just not going to be able to do that. Obviously, the Thursday debate, I'm not sure when I'm going to cover it, but I'm not going to cover it live. I'll probably cover it sometime on Friday. I may even move to Snowflake Corner. I will let you guys know anything on that. As for when I'm going to cover the Liberal Democrats manifesto in detail, I'll let you guys know again on. I'll probably do a premiere video rather than a live stream and pre-record it. I may even record it and just have it done like on Wednesday afternoon or something for you guys to have a watch through or something like that. I also maybe at some point I just want to actually I should address this as well, obviously, because I know some people wanted to hear my comments as well, because I haven't talked about it. So obviously, as you guys know, a while ago I had a chat with we had a nice chat with Bowler Hat Man, and obviously I just wanted to talk to some of you guys actually about some of the comments obviously that you guys said to me. I've spoken privately to a few YouTubers as well privately about it, and I wanted to just address one or two things. So, like, in hindsight, I wish I had said more about what he was saying about the SNP. I felt that his comments were not acceptable. I felt what he was saying about those who are voting for SNP and the thoughts on them. I didn't think it was right or any way, shape or form. I don't think it was appropriate in my opinion. And in hindsight, maybe I should have said more on that. But if I've upset anybody on that, I do apologise. But for those who have been here, you guys know how I feel. That and I said my piece to him at the time, and I felt that if they want, they should be entitled to have that vote. If the people of Scotland want it, they should have it. That's their decision. It's not for me to decide. But obviously, like I said, I don't have much knowledge in Scottish politics, so it's not my place to speak on that. But I would say apart from that, I think everything else, me and him, I think we had a relatively good conversation about a lot of things. I think apart from that, I think it was a very nice conversation. And if you take that out, I think, especially with world news, we definitely saw eye to eye on a lot of world news issues, I think, as well. There were definitely some things on in the UK in terms of politics as well. We saw eye to eye on as well. And hopefully that I will have a conversation with. I'm trying to work out something with Dave McGuinness, because I do want to have a chat with him at some point. I think it would be very good for not just for me, but I think it would be good for you guys on the channel. Those who maybe don't know Indie Chuck Davey, maybe as well, because not everybody obviously knows Indie Chuck Davey. I think it'd be good to have him on the channel and just talking about Scottish politics and whatnot, and it'd be good education for me as well. So I definitely am trying to arrange something with him. So when that will be or not. Also, there's a possibility that maybe down the road, I'm not sure when, but there's a possibility that I may be appearing on Labour Social for one of their shows. Well, not Labour Social, but it's now called Politics Social at some point down the road as well. I won't say when, where, but I am having conversations with Graham Hughes about on that, which would be good. It would be good publicity, obviously, for the channel as well, guys. I know how some of you feel about about Labour Social and some of the people there, and that's totally cool. But obviously, I'd like to have a conversation with No Justice one day. Obviously, I want to have do more live streams with Big Madge as well, because I want some diverse opinions. I should arrange a conversation with Van Man Talks as well, because I do like Van Man Talks as well. So there are many people that I like to have conversations, and maybe me and Countdown to Power should have a wee chat about politics as well. I think me and him should do one as well. So there's definitely lots of people I want to have conversations with. So but yeah, if there's anybody else, if anyone's in particular you want me to have conversations with, let me know in the Discord as well. So just wanted to share those thoughts, obviously, on the by the Hat Man. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we have a conversation again in the future. And I think it's yeah. Just can't really remember much what was happening at the bowler chat. Just remember him laughing at one point and no one else was laughing. Thank you, Regan. I was wondering what was the crack. Yorkshire born, Yorkshire bred, strong in the arm. I'm thinking ahead. Ollie's okay. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't approve it, me personally, but I'm not going to, like, you know. There are some things I can say and some things I'm not going to say anyway. But I've already spoken to private. Yeah. Canada Power says I'll be up for that maybe in a week before the elections. Yeah, definitely. If you have Discord, or I've got an email countdown, so if you don't use Discord, you can email me. There's a business email if you want to contact me that way as well. Yeah, we'll definitely set something up, buddy. But yeah, thanks everybody for coming along, and thanks for all your comments. Thank you, Alistair Keir, for the £5 super chat and the gifted memberships. But yeah, there's plenty more to come. Keep your eye out on the community posts, guys, because there will be. Don't be surprised if I throw up another live stream or premiere, because there's so much happening this week. It's absolutely insane. But obviously, I'll try to cover as much as I possibly can for you guys. And do check out the Rumble and the Patreon, guys. And by the way, the content on Patreon, the additional videos, there's more UK videos. They're free to watch. So if you have Patreon, you don't even have to sign up to them. Remember, you can watch the content for free as well. So if anyone's got Patreon, you can watch that there for free. So thank you all for your comments. Thank you all for your thank you for, again, as for your super chats and gifted memberships. I will be back with the World News Round tomorrow at 6 p.m. That will be tomorrow at 6 p.m. I'll have premiere of World News Round. I may even have an additional premiere or live stream tomorrow. Obviously, if that comes up, I will let you guys know, either here or on Discord. But until then, guys, from myself, from Cash Dummy, from Ollie. Sorry, I need to fix that. Our Ollie, because there's two Ollies now. And Pingu there, our resident communist spy. I just have one thing to say before we go, guys. If you haven't already, please hit the like button. We greatly appreciate it. Share it across social media so others are notified of this video. And subscribe, because it really does help support the channel. And if you want to financially support me and the work that I do here, you can do so by becoming a YouTube member for as little as 99p. Or join me on Rumble or Patreon for exclusive content on those platforms. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope to catch you all very, very soon.